Good evening, and welcome to the reorganization meeting of the Connecticut Central School District. The meeting is now called to order. Please stand and join me in our pledge of allegiance, followed by a moment of silence to honor our servicemen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call now. Mrs. Douglas. Present. Mrs. Kennedy. Mrs. Danico.
Present.
Mr. Warshaw.
Present.
Dr. Adams.
Present.
Mr. Anucci.
Present.
Mrs. Donnelly. Mrs. Nancy.
Present.
Mr. Middleton.
Present.
And Mrs. Hutchins.
Present.
Right now I'll do the oath of office for newly elected board trustees. Mrs. Danico, you can come over here. Do you, I don't want to go, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of board trustee according to the best of your ability?
I did.
Mr. Warshaw? I do, Mark Warshaw, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of board trustee according to the best of your ability. At this time, I will now accept nominations for the office of president of the Connecticut Central School District's Board of Education. I'll do it by roll call so that we do it in this order.
I was just going to yell out.
Okay, Mrs. Ogles, who do you nominate?
Myself.
Mrs. Kennedy?
Violet.
Hannaford?
Violet.
Mr. Warshaw?
Mine.
Okay, it's 4-0. Congratulations.
I have a little hair.
Do you, Myron Douglas, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the board president according to the best of your ability? I do. Shake your hands. That's good. Myron, do you want to take over and do the nominations for vice president?
Yes, please, thank you. I'm going to call for nominations for vice president. I will start with this side, Mark.
Lee Kennedy.
Lee Kennedy.
Lee Kennedy. There's that. Excellent. Do you want me to swear?
I'll swear. Okay, then I'll do that. For you, Lee Kennedy, solemnly swear that you will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution
start, I just want to, my mic is on. Before I start, I just wanted to congratulate Mark and Eileen. Mark is, just to give you guys a little bit about Mark, Mark owns a business in our community. He has also been a coach and also has volunteered for many years in the athletics department, primarily on the football end. Eileen Panico has currently now the president of Fort Conroe Civic. She has sat on many committees during her time as a resident here in Epcot, and she's second to Lee Kennedy as far as Board of Ed meetings attendance. And Lee Kennedy, does an introduction. She's been sitting on the board since 1999, and was it 20 years now, Lee? I'm not aging, honey. So I believe collectively going forward, we have many people here that are sitting on the board that bring different talents and experiences, and I hope looking forward and going forward that we'll have a respectful, cohesive, and transparent board that will serve the community, the staff members, and more importantly, our children and physicians. Okay, so now the next one on is to swear in you, Miss Andrea.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Andrea Wilson, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of district clerk according to the best of my ability.
So we have District Pro Clerk.
Pro Tem is not here, and
What about the Treasurer?
not here either. So within 30 days, they present themselves in my office and I swear them.
Okay, so we have Deputy Treasurer. Would that be the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you?
So now we're moving on to the minutes of the Board of Education. Superintendent, that is letter I.
So then there's the superintendent and usually sworn in as well?
It requires it. Did I miss that? Oh, sorry, yes, superintendent, I'm sorry. I thought you were in there.
Please raise your right hand. I, Linda Adams, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of superintendent of the Epcot schools according to the best of my ability. I will. Congratulations. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to the minutes, accepting the minutes for June 12, 2018, minutes for June 18, 2018, and minutes for June 29, 2018. I'll second the motion. All in favor? Aye. Okay, we're moving on to public comment. Public comment will be 30 minutes. I'd ask that you step to the podium and address the board president only. You may address one or more topics in the time allotted. Comments should not be more than 3 minutes and should relate to school matters only. The board has the final decision in determining the length of time, the appropriateness of the subject being presented, and the suitability of the time for such presentation.
You better sing and dance, Jenny. She promised. All right, since we're starting a new year with the new board, I'm going to bring it up again because it was brought up before the budget was put into motion last time and it was not put into the budget. I would like the AP test to be covered by the district the same way that we cover OCs, the same way that we cover services, the same way that we cover everything that we should be covering. I don't want to take away from any child, but those children should not be penalized because maybe their parents can't afford it. When they say, oh, the school will help you, that's not necessarily true because maybe on paper it doesn't look like you could not afford it, but some kids can't afford it, and they shouldn't be penalized for it. The same way we're going to provide for everybody, and we should give them the best chance of success. If the child has taken the course and they are qualified to take the AP exams, they should have the option to do so with the district paying for it. Obviously, I know kids sign up and then don't take the test, but then you have to do a system the same way that we do with these sports leagues. You write a blank check where you have to have a credit card reservation or something of that matter. If you do not show up for the test, then you are charged. If you show up for the test, there's no charge, no liberty checkup, or they send it back to you, or some checks and balances out. There is a way to handle it. All the leagues do it. So I definitely think we need to be aware of that for all the children. We want to give them the best chance, especially with the rising cost of college. If the child can eliminate some of their debt going forward, then I think that would be a positive, because that means the children who are going to be taken care of us when we're older, they're going to be running the world. So we need to give them the best shot, whether that's grade school, whether that's taking AP tests. I just definitely think that that's something that needs to be added to our budget for next year, no exceptions. And honestly, I think it probably could have been added this year because we do have funding for it. There's just not a line item for it, but it can be added. So if we were to consider it, keep mentioning it. Thank you.
There's also a booklet, a review booklet, that some of the classes have to take, and it's $11 or $12. But I know my daughter was in social, I don't know what class it is, but social studies, but I brought up a few times at the meeting, so we add that to the list.
So Linda, can you give me a inventory of how many children are eligible to take the test and when they're going to test? Do you have a test?
Find out exactly what you're supposed to do.
And you know what book I'm talking about, Linda, right? We talked about this?
Yes, it's a report, yeah.
Right, so it's like $12, and it's.
But then the kids don't keep it.
Really? Me? You can't get me?
We can't hear you back here either. We have air conditioning going over here
Usually
too.
I talk really loud, I'm trying to.
Well, not you.
I'm not so sure about the books because I think that's a way kids can teach their notes in there, so it's not a refundable book.
So could it be like a textbook, or could it be like a workbook, it's the same thing, we can use the workbooks and that's it, for one-time use.
It's
I think it's
$12,
only one class that
but it's required for the test.
We need it.
It's required?
It's required.
It's required. Right.
Okay, does anybody else like to speak? Okay.
Don't be nervous.
Okay, I'm here to represent the parents, students, my own children at Cherokee Street Elementary School. I don't know how much of it is rumor, how much of it is actually true, but I hear that we're cutting a section from the upcoming third grade, which my son is in, and we're also cutting a section at the kindergarten, which my other son is about to now enter. I've heard that the class sizes are going to be increasing. Nobody's really giving any exact feedback to how large the class sizes will be, but we have gone through like board policy, what's the acceptable amount of students that can be into a room before something else is done to create another section. I'm also a teacher as well, and I do have a lot of concerns about this. Like, research definitely shows that lower class sizes are what kids need to succeed. And I'm just looking now, like, if my son going into kindergarten should have a class of 25 kids. I taught kindergarten. You can't have 25 kids in a kindergarten class. It's absurd. And I get that we've talked about that an aide can be added into the classroom to help. An aide is not a teacher. Nothing against the paraprofessionals. I work with them. But sometimes that can create more stress for the teacher. They're not trained enough to be able to work with the students on their own. So although I know that that is often a method that is used to help, work through this problem, to me, it's just not acceptable. This is a district that I have gone to when I was in elementary school. I chose to move back here and raise my family here. I trust this district. I trust that you guys can do what's right. I was thrilled when my older son started kindergarten. He was in class of 19. Then the next year, 18. This year, he was 19 down to 18. It was wonderful what I saw that the teacher could do when I spoke to her. was so much more than what I could do with my own students in my district, because we have class sizes of 22, 23, which again is still pretty light compared to what some districts have. But when you're looking at the future of education and some of these problems going on in the world with the social and emotional well-being of our students, I don't think making class sizes larger is going to do anything to help remediate that problem. We do know that teachers are spending most of their day putting out flyers with behavior management. There will be less of that if the child can actually form a relationship with their teacher. And if the teacher can devote the time to getting to know the student and finding out their interests and meeting their academic needs, you're going to see less of that. We know that all the studies show that student achievement is definitely linked to smaller class sizes. There's no doubt about it. You can reduce behavior problems. There's more accommodation to have flexibility, but differentiating. That's all we're told as teachers. Differentiate, differentiate, differentiate. Meet the needs of all your learners. You can't do that when you're fighting with 25 or 26 different students with different needs and different home lives. And I keep hearing that Cherokee, that all the buildings have to be equal. But then I keep hearing on the other hand that Cherokee right now is the largest elementary school. We have highly qualified teachers. We do. I've seen that firsthand. We have the class space. We are told that we have the largest population. We have the most diverse population. We are now about to house all the special education. I'm not sure if that's just Slocum and Duffield, or is it everybody in Connect Five? That's not true. Okay, good. That's what I was hoping. But still, I'm just looking at it like I think Cherokee needs to be looked at as a separate entity, not as the same, as equal. I have friends who send their kids to Sycamore, Idle Hour, John Pearl. Okay, that's great, but when I'm looking at their numbers and their enrollment, I'm sorry, I can't compare apples to apples with that. I can't, and I keep hearing those buildings get what they need because the parents come to every meeting. I'm sorry that the Cherokee parents may not come. I know tonight we have quite a big support that came out for this. A lot of parents work. I've been told that by a lot of people, can you come and voice, our concern. I just feel like I want to make sure that Cherokee is looked at differently. I'm going to have conversations with the principal, the assistant principal, the teachers. They said that sometimes they feel that they're overlooked, that we're not looked at as a separate entity. We kind of are, just based on their need and what I hear from them and their concern. I'm just looking at helping all these students and making sure that we're all really addressing the needs of what Cherokee needs, not just looking at what the rest of the district is doing as well.
What numbers do you think? 20 is what's the number you're actually looking for, just so I can...
You know what? I was actually very
You're a
pleased
teacher,
when
so
my son came into the class in his first year was 18 kids. I went, is this even possible? Does this happen? I praised this district up and down. I went back to my own district, which is, I'm not going to say the district, but it's a very good district. And I went back and said, we need to get numbers like this because what's happening in my son's classroom year after year after year was phenomenal. But I would probably say I could see up to 22 students. I've been in classrooms, I'm a co-teacher in an inclusion classroom. I've had kids with 23, 24. 25 was like the max we've ever had, and that was when an aide was put in the room. And I'm going to tell you now just firsthand, us teachers had a hard time managing that because you had more diverse population, you had more needs going on. The aide in the room, it is a help, there's an extra body in the room, but if they don't know what to do with the students and they're not sure and they're not trained on how to really help, sometimes it can do a little more harm and sometimes it can be a little more stressful for the teacher. I've had teachers that they deny the aid some years. They just go, I don't want the aid, it's just more work for me. And so I know that that's one of the solutions that the board looks at is adding an aid as things increase. And I am concerned about my son going into 3rd grade. I've looked through the yearbook this year and up to 5th grade, I know the board's cap is 28 students. Up to 5th grade, this year they had 20 students in the classroom. Why are we changing that now moving forward? Why are they cutting a section? Why are we increasing class sizes? It just seems like we're moving backwards. And my son coming into kindergarten, that was really where it pulled me because I said, how can he be coming into a building new, brand new, 4 to 5 years old, and coming in and being placed into a class of 24 and 25, which was what I was told where the approximate numbers are. But I've been told that every day the numbers are changing. And I do get that. It goes up and down based on enrollment. But again, just knowing my own personal experience, I've seen a lot of families move in last minute, if they're renters or they're moving, their closing date didn't come through, now they move in. What happens after school starts? I'm not going to be okay with my child going to kindergarten in a class of 25 or 26. Oh, because now we went over the thing, but the class is already settled. So we'll just add an extra 8 in the room. That's just not going to make me feel comfortable. His needs are not going to be met the same way.
Linda?
I know that the beds are always, changing, but what are the class sizes in the other schools, like all the elementary schools? And Cherokee is the largest school, but because they're the largest school, doesn't mean they should have the largest amount of children in each classroom. So all the other elementary schools, the other 6 are having like 18 kids, and then Cherokee gets 22. I have a problem with that.
I can get you that whole spreadsheet, Bob, I don't think you have it with you.
Right now, the numbers are 22 for kindergarten and 123 for third grade. They're comparable to many of the other buildings, and I surprise you, because the class sizes at Boston are around the same as Cherokee. I think the numbers at Boston are fairly equivalent. As you said, you can't compare all the buildings. The total enrollment at Pearl and at Idlehour are right around 200. So for example, for kindergarten, they had 31, so we had to break that into 2 sections.
Yes.
And I can't speak for this board, but I know in the past, if there's a surge in August, the board has not been shy about adding another second.
I'm more fearful of the people who are moving into the district but don't realize or can't get in before that first day of school, and then they're coming in after the fact, and now all of a sudden, oh, sorry, school has started, class size is increasing.
What are our limits right now? I know we keep them under New York State limits. So what are our limits? Say what?
So the budget guidelines, which is what really guides the way we break sections for K through 2 is 22 to 25. But the board is,
have changed, it should just be 22. Where, I don't know how that went.
yeah.
And I know that
Can you put your microphone on? We're having a hard time back here.
And and 3 through 5 was 25 to 28 in the budget guidelines. So, you know, when you have an odd grade, like you have 35 kids on a grade level, you break that into 17 and 18. But if you have 66, which is what the current enrollment was when I looked 2 days ago, you break that into 3 sections, you have 22 in a section. So that's still within that guideline. Now, what about, because now I know that we are building housing the special education population, which is wonderful, because I am a special education, I am no means upset by this. But I do know what it's like. Every year I have students who come in come November, December, because the parents were not ready yet to make that commitment to move. And when they finally do, they're getting added, and we do see our class sizes increasing at that point. I was told that the inclusion class actually had more students than the true gen ed class at the kindergarten level right now, to kind of max them out so that they didn't get any new entrants. But that concerns me because you have no control over the inclusion students entering that. This upcoming school year. That I was told the numbers were 22, 22, 24. So then that's not, okay.
The last numbers that I got, it's about a week ago, that's not my understanding, but I'll go back and check.
No, that makes me feel better because at first I was like, why is the inclusion class coming out with the most students when there's not room then to add more throughout the year? So I think my bottom line was I just wanted the board to consider. First of all, I think our numbers are really high to even begin with. To look at a class of 25 to 28, whoa, so backwards. Like we shouldn't even be considering that. And when I looked through my son's yearbook for the past 3 years, we've never even had a class of 24 or 25.
I think still 22 for kindergarten is a lot.
It is a lot.
We should lower those limits that Connecticut uses. I know New York State, like I said, is higher, but Connecticut can go lower. And for kindergarten especially, when they're formative, I think those should be as low as possible.
So what we can provide for the board is what the enrollment currently looks like district-wide, so that you can see where all the different buildings are, and then you look at the implications of staffing differently. That's, you know, we do watch every day, especially with
And I do agree
custom
with,
classes.
yeah, and I agree with what you're saying. Again, I'm just hoping that everyone's really realizing that Cherokee is a different school from the other buildings. They really are. And like, it's a wonderful place to be, but we have a lot of students. We have a lot of extra students. And I'm hearing from the teachers too. The teachers are expressing a lot of concern about losing 2 teachers next year. That this is going to be a big change. And if this concerns the teachers, and being a teacher myself, I feel their concern. I feel what's going to happen. And
When you say different, I'm just thinking the numbers are higher.
Yeah.
the numbers are going to be
How
higher.
much
It's the
higher?
biggest school.
How much higher is
Right now, off the top of my head, I know we're over 600 from what I think. And then the other buildings,
Bob,
I'm
do you have
thinking
the
about
numbers?
400.
It was south of 600 last time we looked, but one of the things I should bring to your attention is, for the first time in my memory here, We had down through kindergarten at Cherokee, at Duffield, and at Slocum. Slocum went from about 60 to 39 this year. Can't explain it. In the past, we've always held out that there's going to be a surge in August. That may be the case again this year, but we can't plan for that in May.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So will we look at that again in August before, and then by August we'll be able to make sure that we have the right size classes? Again, I don't want 20 kids in Cherokee when every other class, every other school district has 15 to 16.
Boston has numbers, Sycamore has numbers, so to say that Cherokee, to say that, yeah, so to say that Cherokee is the only one, it's not. I mean, you're pointing out Idle Hour, you're pointing at Idle Hour and, John Pearl.
They're the smallest.
Those schools.
Yes, no, I know that
Those schools
yes.
have under 200 kids.
Yes.
And, you know, that's something that the board's gonna have to look at in a few years from now, because, you
Well,
know,
we've already looked at that, right? There was a possibility of closing
effective,
one
but
of the
right
schools.
now, that's not an option or a topic right now, but I'm just suggesting to you that Boston has those numbers, Sycamore has those numbers, Duffield, I mean, so there is those numbers that need to be sustained.
Okay, then I guess my request today is to ask the board to consider, especially at the kindergarten level, lowering those numbers. And kind of asking, why are we changing that for next year when this year's current third grade only has 20 students in the class? Why are we looking to cut that for next year? And I get what you're saying, that right now the numbers are, oh, we're only going up to 22 or 23. We know new entrants can come over the summer, so that number can quickly change overnight to 23, 24, 25.
And I've sat on the board in the past where we've added sections.
Yes.
I don't have a problem adding a section. Again, Bob has a very close eye on the monitor. We would never endanger the education of children to save a dollar. That's not what we're here.
And I'm also going to tell you that I spoke to Mrs. Leahy before she went out on her leave, and I asked her to break the classes, not yet, but I asked her to break the classes into 4, just in case we went to 4.
Okay.
So she already has.
So there's a plan in place.
There's already a plan in place, yes, in case we need to go to 4. Okay?
Thank you.
I'm Jennifer Williams.
You're not allowed to say your name. No, they don't have to.
Oh, I was actually going to introduce myself, but then you don't. So I was like, oh, that's not how you do this. Okay, no,
You don't have to say your name.
Okay.
It's nice to know you don't have to.
Thank you.
No, you don't have to.
Hello. I also am a Cherokee parent, and I don't want to be really repetitive, but I just want to also say that I am concerned about the teacher ratio to students as well. I am also a teacher in another district in Suffolk County, and I wanted to reiterate how we do have the largest amount of population, like we mentioned, also housing the UPK now for past year. My daughter is in 3rd grade. My son is going to not be attending UPK because we didn't win the lottery, but you know, he will be attending kindergarten the following school year after that. I just wanted to mention that I have worked with, you know, mainstreaming classes before, also with inclusion classes as well. And a lot of times when you say that you're going to add an aide to the room, I understand that they're not just for that class. They get shared often, and they won't be there full time, which is again a disservice to our students in the classroom. They won't be getting that extra attention that they need. And I feel that with adding that instructional assistant, it's not really going to, you know, do the part that we need if they are high class sizes. Another thing is I understand with, you know, we're under New York State max, which is great. And I love that my daughter was in classes of again 18 the past several years. And just, you know, understanding that even though we are at another max, doesn't mean that that's going to, you know, really give a quality education that, you know, we have had in the past year at Cherokee, and all of our Cherokee parents have been really pleased with the attention that our students have been receiving, our children have been receiving, and we would like that for it to continue. And also understanding that I know with them now in 3rd grade, intermediate level, there's more, you know, curriculum that is going to be much more difficult for them, you know, and also preparing for state exams, you know, whether or not children opt out or not, that's a lot of preparation for the teacher to handle, and to then increase the class size at this time, and think would be, like I said, a disservice to our children, because they're going to need that extra help with that preparation and this more difficult curriculum that they're going to be doing. So I just wanted to thank you for your time, and just let you know I'm another concerned parent, and hopefully that it will be addressed in August, and hopefully we will have our class sizes, low, like they have been in the past. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
You gotta do a song like dance too. Jenny, welcome, New Year.
Can we do something about this?
It's very, I can't see anybody.
That's the
whole point, is we can't see, no matter where you sit, it's really the time to be right here, whether it's in the back, to the side. Just a little suggestion for the whole, show of the room.
Thank you.
I don't want to be a dead horse.
No,
but I just
no.
want to come at it from a slightly different angle. My name is Elizabeth Palmieri. I also am here as an incoming kindergartner and a future third grader. Last year, I volunteered to participate in the Connect Lots in the Encouragement Committee. We spent last year developing a plan to increase virtual recess time in our elementary school as part of a commitment to enhance social and social emotional skills. If anyone's not familiar, those social emotional skills are coping skills, frustration tolerance, social skills, and executive functioning. You attended some of our meetings, and you voiced your support and recognized the importance of those skills with regard to student achievement and overall well-being. You worked with our principals very diligently to incorporate that extended functioning recess time. You presented the plan to the board at a meeting similar to this one last year. I stood with members of our committee and those in attendance applauded our efforts, and they recognized the importance of social emotional skills. My concern regarding a possible increase in class size reaches beyond my personal life, and I'm also a school social worker for BOCES. While I understand the implications of increased class sizes for my own children, I also understand the impact it's going for other students. Students who may have deficits in social skills can feel overwhelmed in these larger class sizes and withdraw or develop social anxiety. Students who have low frustration tolerance or poor coping skills who act out in order to get a teacher's attention. Students who struggle with the inventory control or focus going unnoticed and falling behind their peers. While increasing class sizes might provide immediate financial incentive, I caution against failing to see long-term financial consequences as well. Increasing class sizes may lead to additional students requiring school-based counseling to enhance coping and social skills. More students may require specialized instruction in reading as they fail to receive adequate and individualized attention in kindergarten. Or it may result in increasing out-of-district placements for students who are labeled as behavior problems because their needs were overlooked. And while I understand the possible increase in class size keep classes within the maximum as per state education guidelines, I believe our children at Cherokee and all our schools deserve more than guideline maximums. I'm asking the Board of Ed to look at the research on small class sizes and achievement, such as the STARS study, as well as explore the implications for the development of vital social emotional skills and larger class sizes. I'm asking it for class sizes.
You said STARS, S-T-A-R-S.
Yeah, student achievement ratio study.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Come on up.
Hi, so my name is Vanessa. I am a Cherokee parent. I am also a Long Island educator. I work in a regular ed situation and an inclusion setting as well, so I'm familiar with both. When I chose to move to Connect Lot, I was fairly familiar with the school district and the great reputation that it has for educating our youth. Small class sizes are really what the research says impacts effective learning in the classroom, and increasing that, in 2 to 3 classes. If you're going from 18, 19 kids up to 23, 24, you're looking at a 25% increase. That's a huge increase for any teacher at any size. That's a pretty big number, right? You want to increase our salary 25%? That sounds pretty good, right? So either way, I was just really curious why at this particular point in time would they want to increase class sizes?
Nobody's.
It's not happening.
Yeah. They're not?
No, I don't know why everybody's under the impression that they're inclusive.
They were told that.
Well, we were told that, so if we're losing a section of third grade, I'm sure that we didn't lose enrollment of 20 children in the third grade, incoming third graders at Cherokee.
According to what Anucci is telling me, which I'm hearing, what I heard him say now, he says there's 22 max at the kindergarten level, and there's actually on the third grade level, there's actually less. So how are we increasing it? This actually is not in the third grade.
Well, if you're losing a section of the incoming third graders,
To enrollment, not that we're losing.
so we
a section.
lost 20 children in the third grade?
According to what I'm
Because it's
hearing.
under 23.
So you're telling me 20 third graders, 20 of the incoming third graders are no longer enrolled?
I said under 23.
The class sizes are under 23. Correct. So if we had 5 sections we had, one was inclusion?
What happened from our analysis is that over the last couple of years, we're not inferring that you lost 20 at once, but you went from 17, I believe, to 2 sections, 22 and 23. Third grade.
So you lost 17 children overall in the past 3 years?
So we've had a very small,
So then how would that impact the enrollment in each particular section? The enrollment in each particular section?
2 of 22 and 23.
That's the third grade, 23.
The third grade.
But some of them are under 20 at this current year, they were under 20. So they are going up, the size of the class that the children are used to.
Classes, of course, you have sections will be higher next year, because it's higher.
That's exactly the point I'm making. So as an educator, if I find that I could be very effective in a classroom, obviously under 20 is unbelievable. You could get a lot of work done and provide the children really with what they need. When you increase that by 25%, you're looking at a lot more work, and your time is divided up. It's not as going to be as effective. And for the kindergartners, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get kids that don't know how to read. I don't know if you have the statistics on how many children have actually gone through an effective pre-K program, full day, half day, couple of days a week, so many different levels. To increase that to over 20 is not really what I would call an effective plan for a strong foundation. No response?
What are we at the kindergarten level? We're at 22,
22.
and that's what it
That's
is.
what we were last school year,
Yeah, we
22.
had a significant downturn last year, but right now, as Dr. Rath says, we monitor it every week, and we have 66 people.
And do you have a copy? Or similar?
I have to check, but some of them are in the same area, 22 and 23.
I understand that might be,
I would like to say this. One time, he said, well, they wanted to
like that.
somewhere along the way, it's like 25. I don't know how that happened. I think I might know how it happened, but I would like to see, I really would like to see what that was 22. I think 25 situation was 22 should be max. Yes. And it's lower, it's lower. What should be max?
Absolutely, 1,000%. Little kids are a lot of work. Anybody want to have 25?
I don't want one.
5-year-olds, 4-years in there?
As long as I have my 18-year-old around hanging out with them, sure. I like kids.
Okay, so I really hope that these class sizes could stay as low as possible, because I know in my classes, get above that 25 child mark, it gets to be a little intense in there.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead, Mike.
I'll be last. My name is Michael Moore. I live in the north section. I basically run a business.
That's what I did, not
I can't speak for the numbers. I don't know all the lingo, the jargon that we're talking about. All I know is that I'm going to tell a story about my son. He's going to be in 3rd grade next year. He is a very hard worker. He's so hardworking that he had to have speech services. He had to have reading services. He had to have, we got him a math tutor. We had 3 tutors coming to the house. We had another speech tutor come home with us. And even though the school district gave us all of these things to help us, we did more for him at home also. To give, there's a possibility, whether there's the numbers that you're talking about or anything else, that the teachers every year tell us about regression for the next year. And my biggest fear would be that all that hard work that he has done, that teachers or yourselves might call them students, Mikey calls them friends, I call them distractions. And that's all that these kids are distractions. My son has to compete with 24 other hands going up possibly now, and there's a question being asked. Maybe his question doesn't get answered because the class size, I'm not a smart man, I'm a Cherokee graduate and I'm a Connecticut graduate, never went to college.
Hey, what are you trying to say?
Did pretty well for myself still, you know, but the fact that he's, I don't remember, it's so long ago, you know, but the truth is that for this to happen, possibly, I'm hearing that we lost 17 students, then I would think that the class sizes would be 15, because I wouldn't want to lose people and make it 23. I would rather have it go from a higher class size to low. That's just simple. We talk about education and taking care of kids. He's a hardworking kid. My other kid, he's a monster. He's going to be going into kindergarten next year. Good luck if you raise my son has worked very hard. There's been a lot of fights at the kitchen table about reading and what this word is and how to say this and addition and subtraction. And I don't want, not just regression, but to have to compete with 4 other more hands going up in the classroom, or to think that the teachers, nobody's even spoken about the teachers and the work that they're going to take on. If they have even 4 more kids, I know that teachers have spoken, but if they have 4 more kids, what does that do for their workload? And teaching assistants and all that other stuff aside, it just doesn't make much sense to me. I'm a very simple man. Math, I can do math. Classes should go down in size, not losing people. I needed to come here and speak for my son who deserves my effort and everybody else's effort to not have to compete with other distractions in that class. Because when a kid says something funny, it's gone. Their attention span is gone. And I can't have more kids to laugh or make jokes or to compete with when it comes to his education. I just can't have it. So I thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
That's my point.
Recommended action, which
Oh, right, they
is
changed.
okay, so what do we got here? We have policies.
Organization items, 2 through 48. And
Wait, I have some,
All right, so I'm gonna take a motion and then we're gonna ask if anybody has a comment. So we need a motion on the table and then we can listen to comments. So, okay, I'll second the motion. All right, anybody has questions on items, for K, 2 through 48?
I have a lot. Sorry. All right, so, on number 4. In 2013 through 2015, this was not on the agendas, but it was added on 2016 and 17, and it doesn't have anything that says with border. You all hear me? Okay. So 2013 through 15, it was not on any of the agendas. It started in 2016 and continued to 2017. I'm concerned that it doesn't say with board approval, it's just budget transfers. And you know how I've always talked about budget transfers. So why isn't there board approval on there anymore?
Board approval is required for budget transfers that are greater than or equal to $5,000.
Okay.
If they are payroll items, it's a higher threshold, $1 million between payroll codes.
And so $1 million between payroll codes?
Between payroll codes, yes. But for other non-payroll codes, if it's an amount of $5,000, then board approval is required.
Okay, so you can't take from a payroll code and put it into something else? Correct? Like in other words, payroll code to buildings and grounds?
You can, as long as it's not $1 million or $5,000.
But that's what I'm saying, so you're saying the payroll codes are $1 million between payroll
Yes,
codes?
among payroll.
But if it's a payroll code going transferred to a building code, is it then the $5,000?
Then it's the $5,000.
Okay, I'm okay with that then. the designation of official district newspapers. Nobody likes Newsday.
We should say that. Some people don't.
All right,
say.
a lot of people don't like Newsday, hasn't it? No, all I wanted to know is there another way that we can do this online as well? Can we add an online thing? I mean,
Can I say into that?
Yeah.
point? If two newspapers have to be officially designated
Right.
in order to post the legal notice for the district,
okay,
we also have to post other financials through the legal notices. And purchasing director does like to use the newspaper because it reaches a order. So that's why we have newspaper. We don't tend to.
I don't have a
use
problem
it
with the
for
Newsday, the papers on here, but I want to know if there's more access for the public. Like, can we also put it online? When we have to do these, that's all online? Can you use, what kind of legal notices?
We're talking about the legal notice for the annual meeting.
Oh, those kind of things, so those are online,
Right,
right?
and financial statement from the order.
Okay, perfect. Authorization of personnel to, number 8, to invest district funds. Again, the board approval is not on there.
Well, there's a policy in place that the board has set.
What policy is that?
I don't know the number exactly.
Can you get that, Michelle? Are we allowed to revisit that if I read the policy and I don't like it? Will we approve it tonight?
At a future time, to change the policy, yes.
Okay. So then I'm okay with that one? Sorry guys. Number 11, who are those people? Who are all those people? Where did we get them from?
Are you talking about mileage reimbursement, number 11?
No, oh, you got the new one. No, number 11 is, the old one is designation of impartial hearing officers. I just added.
Through SATA, that's the SATA department.
Oh, SATA does it?
That was required to let us have.
Okay, first up. Okay, as long as we know that, I'm good with that. Authorization of board president to approve impartial hearing officers. Well, I got 2 different lists here. One is off by one, so I'm missing something.
Let's do it on the screen.
Oh, maybe it's anyway, so the authorization of board president to approve impartial hearing officers. Where's that one? Number 12.
So what happens, I think, is when partial hearing officer is created, board president signs off on that person.
So it's not the whole board, it's just the board president. All right. This is probably from Monica. Monica, it's, I don't know the number, designation of CNC 13. Yeah, I'm right on the notes, number 13. You have a lot of CSE chairpersons. Is our percentage getting that high that we need all of these people? What is our percentage in this board? What was it a few years ago? Are we really increasing? And how does that happen?
I don't have past year's numbers on me right now. We have approximately 1,000 students classified.
What's that percentage?
I would have to do the math for us close to 6. So we're, depending on the day, we can be between 16 and 18%. I think it's fair to say off the top of my head. But I would like to go back and check the numbers to really say that confidently with you. Because I change it regularly.
All right, so can you give me those numbers? Because I've heard that we've gone up significantly in the past couple of years, so I just want to check that.
There is a bit of a flow. Last year, we didn't have 70 new entrants, special education entrants, in the months of August and September. It definitely affected our special education population.
Okay, all right.
And the CPSC, CSE chair, people really all kind of working in the district.
Right, I know that they're in the district already, but we have extras here. Can you explain those to me? So that we have you, we have a director, we have a high school and middle school and elementary, and then 4 more people.
The IP coordinators are teachers on special assignment. They also chair, especially during annual review season. During annual review season, New York State tells us that we have to review every student's IEP.
Right.
So if we have 1,000 students, we're having 1,000 meetings
just between January and June alone, not even taking into consideration all the new referrals made to special education, or all the other reasons that come up during the year. So we have, before we even hit any extra meetings, we already have 1,000 meetings a year.
Okay. All right, that makes sense, thank you. Number 15. Nope, not number 15 anymore. Number 16. Nope, that didn't either. File applications. What are the applications? Where's the file application?
15.
Oh, it is 15. Oh. Okay. What are these applications? Authorization of administration to file applications on behalf of the district. What are they? What applications? Sorry. Want to know?
That looks like it's for federal and state money, the special aid fund, grants and the like.
Everyone's speaking. Okay. And then again, that, there's no board approval on, no, the next one. Authorization of administration to approve conferences, conventions, and workshops. That's another one that, what happened to board approval on that?
That's approved as part of the budget process. The conferences are detailed in each budget line item that comes from each department. And it's also to some extent at the discretion of each administrator in each department.
Okay.
How to spend their conference money.
But it's already in the budget, that conference money?
Yes,
Okay, so it's not extra, that's what I want to.
correct.
All right, insurance brokers, when was the last time that we bid out on those? I know when I had to do it, when I worked for a company, every time you bid out, you got better prices. Because they were hungry and they wanted the business, so can we do that often? How often do we do that?
Spent a lot of time doing that this year, in
Okay.
preparation for 1819.
Okay,
We have many who are new.
okay. How often do we do that, Jen?
We're not actually required to do it.
No, I know, but you
or-
just get better prices.
I changed the broker when I first came
Okay,
into this position, so it was like 5 years ago.
5 years ago.
And now I've changed many of them.
okay. All
But
right,
even
good.
along
we
the
get a
way, when we had, I'm sorry,
Can we get a list of that?
it's actually delineated in the, right in that agenda item.
Yeah, right here, the list.
Okay.
It's detailed as to who the broker is and who the insurance underwriter is. But even when we had an existing broker, even worked for a number of years, we always obtained quotes and we would change the underwriting company.
Oh, good,
So the
okay.
broker would obtain quotes for us.
Okay, good. All right, I appreciate that. The next one is, you guys okay, you don't need to. You have recommended action under designation of insurance brokers. In sub 18. Okay, and it says, nope, I think I wrote this wrong. All right, forget that question.
I mean, can I interrupt you? We actually do need the board members who would like to serve for number 19 before we vote, correct?
Okay, yeah, we can do that.
So for the Health and
Want me to
Safety
stop there?
Committee, I'm going to stop you just for a second so you can fill in that so that when we're ready to vote, you can move forward.
All right.
For the Health and Safety Committee, but we are allowed to have 2 board members on each one of the standing committees. So for Health and Safety, who would like to be the members?
I want policy stuff. So Lee and I. Yes, you guys.
So Mark, do you want to do Health and Safety with me?
Whatever you want.
Thank you.
I'm flexible.
See, you gotta speak up.
Now.
So Mark, we'll do facilities and we'll do health and safety because they kind of go along with each other. Okay, so then I do need to change under 20. We need to strike Lee Kennedy as a member of that committee. Which one? Under number 20 it says authorization of board facility advisory committee.
Wait, can I still
Oh,
go on that?
wait a minute.
So you're only allowed to have 2 members because otherwise you have a quorum. So 1, 2 members.
Yeah, but the quorum is only if we talk about stuff.
You know what?
You know what, Mark, I'm gonna have to scratch you on the facilities, only because Lee's been sitting on this for about a year now.
I can't ever attend that meeting then?
You can't speak.
Okay, I don't
All right, so then you know what?
Lisa, are
Facilities
three board members allowed to attend
No,
the facilities
no,
advisory
that's
committee
the-
meeting?
that we can
Wait,
speak
he is
about.
correct. They wouldn't be able to participate
Can't be
in
input.
decisions.
I could just listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
All right, so you know what, keep facilities advisory as Lee and myself.
Okay, so-
I've been sitting on that for about a year now.
All right, so then I'm gonna ask you to put in for number 21, Lee Kennedy, and then Miley Obelis,
We're on that
and
list
then,
already.
no, but you're also, I want you to be enumerated on number 21, and you're allowed to pick an alternate. Would you like to pick an alternate?
Then we'll keep Mark as the alternate.
Mark is the alternate, okay. Okay, I'm sorry.
And then you have Lee and Eileen for policy.
Go on now? Yes, thank you.
Right, are there minutes on that committee? It says that there are minutes, when I read about it, it says there have to be minutes sent in. Can you send those to me? Minutes
For which committee?
The facilities. The facility advisory committee? Sure. I know I got the spreadsheet, but I didn't get minutes. Okay. Number 21, authorization of citizen advisory committees. Is that different from, because you have, it looks like it's the same as facilities. So 20 and 21 are the same, it says on here.
Yes, yeah.
But I thought citizen advisory, it's not the,
Wait, citizen advisory you're talking about?
yeah, see number 21, but then it says facilities underneath it. I thought citizen advisory was for the budget. Is that just a typo?
No, it's the number 20 is the authorization of the actual people that would be in it, and then the Act 21 is the authorization of the facility advisory.
Because it says citizen advisory.
And they're part of the meeting.
Citizen
Oh,
advisory would be maybe BAC.
That's what I thought. So
It's just authorization for the board to do it, to make it citizen advisory.
Oh, so then it's not the facilities, it is separate.
Facilities is the
So, because it says up right underneath it, citizen advisory committee, and then it says committee for facilities advisory.
This is facilities advisory.
Right, but, so,
Group name is facilities.
right, and then the next one says
The board
citizen.
had it.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're seating, it now, she should, 21 should have been 20, because you're actually approving the idea of having a citizens advisory committee, named the facilities advisory committee, and then 20 is the actual people sitting on that.
Oh, okay.
So you're actually appointing those folks to be part of that committee. So it's just backwards.
So the citizens advisory committee, which is usually a budget committee, is the BAC, is that on here?
Anytime that the board appoints citizens to be on a committee, it's a citizens advisory committee.
Ah.
So number 21 basically says you're having one, and it's the facilities advisory committee right now, and 20 are the members of the community that you want to sit on.
Gotcha. All right. New York State, sorry. New York State tuition rates. What are they? It says number 26 now. Authorization of New York State tuition rates. I don't know what they are.
When the state sets those, we will accept them, but we're really just authorizing that acceptance in advance. The basic contribution rate, the non-resident tuition rate, and at this point, they're just estimates, even for 17, 18.
So why are we authorizing some we don't know a number on? Is that what we're supposed to do?
In advance of when they're set, we will accept them. We're doing it as advance. Which is mean, it's reimbursement costs. We'll accept them, just like the mileage
Oh,
reimbursement.
it's the rate, when it, you can't change it.
Correct.
Okay, so then, okay, I'm all
It's
right.
like the IRS mileage rate, we also accepted that, but that will change too.
All right, all right.
Back to 25,
Yeah,
how much,
oh, I see.
lunch program, did we find somebody?
Oh, yeah.
The board, the walkthrough, not the board, the walkthrough for the applicants who responded to the bid that's on the street. There were 2 who came through the walkthrough, which was yesterday, Aramark and Witzens. That doesn't mean that Chartwells or others may not also bid, but as far as showing up for the walkthrough, we had 2 companies come, they had followed the questions, which we answered. So that's in process.
Wait, didn't Whitson cancel us?
Whitson's decided not to extend the existing contract for the 1 more year that
Oh,
they
they
were
want
allowed.
money.
They want, yes, they
They
want
want
better,
more money.
better to them terms.
Is that why we raised the prices?
No, we haven't raised the price, so that are differentials between the free and the paid lunch, that the minimum that's required by the school program, the national school program.
Or are we looking into getting our own person's in-house?
We are doing that as well, but that's going to take some time. To do that in the meantime, we do need to have a that.
Otherwise, we just get my own.
Yeah, I'm for that.
So do you think that maybe we can form a committee this way?
We need to, we absolutely need to, yes.
So maybe we can do that early this fall, early this fall?
That would be perfect.
All right.
That's what I said.
So there's a lot on here. The bond council, the municipal finance advisory service, the appointment of the architect, the school physician. There was no contracts attached. Can I just get a copy of those? Because I don't know prices, I don't know what we're paying them.
There was an attachment for the municipal finance advisory services. Anybody we had a contract for, and we pulled for, we got them. Bond council does not sit in agreement until there's an actual plan for going out for a bond, say, or right before we go out for a tax anticipation note. That's just the way they're structured. But we did get agreements every single place that we could. I don't know about the architect, that's not my agenda item.
Well, how do
All that other stuff.
I know if I can approve it if I don't know how much it is? How much we're spending? Like then, you just said we have the contract.
Where, but usually, like the school position, you usually get the same, they usually get, as I remember, they always get the same fees.
Well,
We have to prove the rate.
Yeah, I want to know what the rate is.
so that's not my item, but I could give you one for my item with it, which there is a reflected change.
Okay.
And there's one item that went up for Munistat, who is the Municipal Finance Advisory Service.
Okay.
And I felt that the fee was reasonable because that one item went up by $1,000, but where the other ones went down. So you can see that there. So, you know, like is demonstrated with that.
But what's that dollar amount?
I've done my due diligence to have it on the agenda and recommend to you that I felt it was fair, reasonable.
I just want to know the amount.
Negotiated. Oh, I can definitely get that, and I've attached all of mine.
Oh, I didn't
But
see it.
there's-
When I first printed it, I didn't
It
see
might not have been that because we had to call for something.
Okay.
But you could look now, and if there's, you know.
So if it's something that I don't like, can we, like, say the amount is way too high, we can go back and fix that? Can I approve it tonight, or no?
So typically when you're approving the terms,
No?
however, there typically is, I would have to look at the contract to be able to approve.
Okay, because I don't want to say yes to something if I don't know the dollar amount.
So you may want to get that dollar amount before you vote on it in order to, is it possible?
That's well,
There's a couple of them.
okay, the thing is, I did do due diligence to put these on the agenda. But I understand what you're saying, that it wasn't fair when you looked, because we didn't have them all, you know, the year just started, we weren't meeting as early. It could be rescinded and
Can we pull them one for that dollar amount?
The only one that doesn't have it was bond council.
Well, municipal finance. Well,
That one
have
I just sent some papers.
Oh, that's this?
And you can compare 2017 to 2018.
Okay.
I would suggest you approve what's there and rescind and reapprove if you're not happy with who I recommended.
There's typically language in the contracts that gives you the opportunity to terminate the contract or something of that nature. So if there was a problem, you'd be able to,
But this
have
time,
it revisited.
I'm gonna use Dr. Hill. We're appointing him to be our school physician. We're not appointing him to give grades.
You're not appointing.
So we're not giving him.
No. We're appointing him to, in my interpretation, we're appointing him to continue to be our school physician. We're not saying, there's no new contract here saying that he's getting a raise. It was always my understanding that they wanted separate line item. So he's not getting any more money, as far as I understand.
I believe that's the same contract and the same
It's around
contract.
line item.
Oh, well, whoever item it is.
But you're right, that's the way the process should and typically goes, yes,
Right.
yes.
But again, as new board members, we don't know if they were to say yes on them or
Well,
not.
they're
Mine
just,
are on there.
they're just appointing them. But if you want to question, you want the pay scale, 2017.
But if we appoint them, are we stuck with that then? That's my question.
And if you're appointing as our school position, you're saying, yes, we want to keep them again. But now, if you want to do due diligence, you want to see what the salary was in 2017.
You want a comparison between the 2 years of the 2
Two years, to make sure that he did not get a raise.
So do I approve or do we pull it?
We're
You're only
approving,
approving it to be on.
You're approving of the position, and as he said, to the extent he wants to raise his rates, he's have to approach you. And then you have to approve that.
Then we keep them out.
Or,
Don't
it's negotiated.
Right, okay, gotcha. All right, so that's a lot of my questions. I'm gonna skip that one.
Right?
Okay. And then there's a lot of things on here too that I don't know the job duties on, but I can get those afterwards, right? Okay, so we'll skip that. Okay, that's it for that then. I'm good.
Okay, so we have
Is
a
everybody happy
motion.
now?
So we have a motion on the table, we all in favor?
Yes. Aye.
That's fine.
All right, so then we're moving on to, recommended action personnel matters, we have resignations and terminations, leave of absence.
Personnel, I'm making a motion to pull all of those until I review the files. Yes, the resignations, too. Yes, I had some questions on the resignations, yes.
So we're pulling the whole resignations?
Except for the essential personnel that Linda gave us that list.
So wait a minute, so you're pulling the resignation?
Yes,
from-
some of them.
All right, so how do we decide? for-
Anything, I want to pull anything that.
Well, then you have to let me know, so what are you
Okay.
pulling?
All
Are
right.
you pulling A, B, C, D, E?
All right, let me get that. Where is that? Schedule A. Where am I? L1, okay, so I'm 12.6%, here we go. Okay, schedule 1, right?
Yeah.
So I have
I would-
4,
Yeah, give me the letters.
yeah, first I'm gonna start with 4, hold on. That one's okay, okay, 4,
which is what you don't.
oh, that's what I'm gonna say. 4, nope, not here. 4C. F? No, not F, forget that. C, only so far. C, G, C, G, I, J. That's it on that schedule.
All right, so then we're gonna have to extract C, G, I, and J. We're going to approve the remaining items, A, B, D, E, F, H. So we're gonna take a motion to pull.
Hold on, Mark's just looking.
Are we gonna table that?
She would have the ability to pull by right because it is a grouped agenda. So then you can vote on those items separately.
Okay, so it's
So you would vote on the remaining items, and then if you want, you would present those other items to be voted on, or vote to table.
Okay, so we're gonna vote on the items you didn't vote, and we'll vote the table as she suggested. Okay, so we're gonna vote on items A, B, D, E, F, H, and that's it.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, now I'm gonna take a vote on to table items, letter C, G, I, J. Are we gonna vote to table, or are we gonna vote to,
I vote to table, so I get the file.
I'll question, like you're new. Yeah, just let them training.
okay, so we'll vote to table C, G, I, J.
Yes, we can.
Mark, are you in
Yes.
agreement to table?
Yes.
Okay, so you have more votes to table.
I get a motion to accept.
Okay, so I'm gonna motion. Okay, so I take a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're moving on to appointments.
And those are the ones that we're gonna pull except for the, because I want to look at all those.
All right, so then you have to be specific. What do you want to call?
Everything except the essential ones that Linda gave us the list of.
You have
I
to,
don't know who
you
they
have,
are.
you have to be specific.
Linda, I don't know who they are. You have that list? Everybody but whatever Linda just said.
All right,
I'm just worried about, I'm sorry, I'm just worried that when we don't do some of the, part-timers, will their benefits continue in the summer or not?
I didn't hear what you said, Linda.
The question was, with part-time people, will their benefits be lost over the summer if you don't go?
We'll do it with the
That's
next meeting.
meeting.
The next meeting.
So the question is, if we don't vote on part-timers that are on this agenda, and we vote on July 24th instead, are they off benefits from now until July 24th?
Like we sure is.
okay, so let's,
Yeah, no, that's understandable.
all right. What are we pulling?
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you what to leave in, because that's easier than to tell you what to pull.
Okay.
So we're leaving in 4C. Five D,
Why are we leaving four? Why are we leaving six?
because
That says, give it the title.
I will leave it.
yeah, so that she can do her job in the summer.
But then why does it say effective September 1st?
C,
For C, it says on.
Yeah, so why is it not being pulled? It's effective September 1st.
four C,
You're not the right one, this one. You agree, you agree. You agree. That's four.
So bypassing all these yes?
Yeah, well, hold on,
Oh,
hold on.
So wait a minute, you're including 4C.
four C we're leaving in.
We're see we're leaving in, everybody else is.
So everybody up until this point was excluded.
Right.
Okay.
Okay, then we're looking at five.
Okay.
We need to leave in A, B, D, E, H, that's just part of their contract.
Yeah, well, I want to ask about that, but is that executive session?
Yeah.
Okay.
N, take this off, page 37 of your pepper notes.
N,
N,
all the way down to N?
leaving in N,
Okay.
leaving in O, P, Q, R,
We can't find our, a lot of Q's.
there's a lot of Q's.
Those were, that was on your list?
Yep, these are CSE numbers, so
Okay. Oh, all right.
R, S,
Okay.
and that's it.
Okay. So I go to, oh,
So
yeah.
we're gonna table the remaining and vote on the ones that you just mentioned, Linda?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm gonna take a motion.
Motion. Okay.
Lee seconds, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and then we're gonna take a separate vote to table. Okay, we're gonna table the remaining items that were not included in the appointments. I'll second the motion. All in favor? Okay, recommended action, financial matters.
Oh, no, I don't have any. Saw this, saw that, saw that.
So you tried anything with the treasurer's report?
No, I saw that, they were online, I forgot that.
Okay. So anybody?
I have a question on number 8.
Sharon, she has a question for you.
Come on, Sharon, you know I have this question.
Okay.
The same question I had when I was on the other side of the table. There's 40 million as of May 31st. How much do you think that's gonna go down in a month?
Quite a bit, quite a bit. Several, will go down by at least several million, but I have to get the exact number for you.
Okay, all right, you'll get that to me?
I will.
All right. So I'll have that on the next meeting?
Absolutely.
All right, I'm good with that.
It'll go down to 12.
12 million?
That's my projection. I just remembered it, it's not like I just made it up.
No, I know, Sharon.
It's like.
I know you know I'm gonna ask that question.
Yeah.
All right. I've only been asking the same question for 6 years now, so. All right, I'm good with the rest.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we're all in favor?
We have to do a motion in a second.
Okay, I think do a motion on that?
Items 2 through 11.
Okay, take the motion for item, the 2 through 11. Lee took the motion on the table, I'll second it. All in favor? All right. And we're moving on to consent agenda. Items 2 through 35, we're going to take a motion and discussion.
Motion?
I'll second. I see that there was a donation accepted for $3,000 for art monitors. Are they on the, to be used, by the physical, education department. Since we're gonna have that at RMS, do we also have that at OU?
That was a donation from their PTA, so that was something their PTA chose to do with their money. That may be something we want to consider.
Yes, because I don't want either building or any building to not have.
Yep.
Okay, so.
And there's a matching involved too. I believe that's only half, but is that what the other says, it's only half the cost?
To the check,
I believe so. Okay, so that was at one of those, the obviously one of the. Okay.
Yeah.
A couple of things.
Does anybody else have any questions? So that's all this So Mark, are you going to the city? What is that date?
August 10th and 11th.
No, that's the
Was it the 11th? No, the 12th, the 10th is the 11th. The 9th is dinner at the mansion.
You're very good, Mark.
Thank you very much.
Andrea, do we need to determine who wants to attend in this position?
Where is it?
It's in New York
I
City.
put in Union.
Who's attending?
Is that his name, conference?
Yes, it is.
Oh, yes, this is the new one, yes, so you have to determine who's to go.
Okay, do you have the dates for that?
It's on there.
It's October 23rd, 26th, and 27th.
25th,
Weekend for the holidays.
25th, 26th, and 27th. Okay.
You could just approve the expenditure, which is up to you. want to limit it to how many people are going to go, whatever.
I wanna go.
Are you
I feel so good.
I'm not in. So we stay overnight in the city.
I'm open on my calendar.
I'm in.
All right, I'm in. Mom's in.
All right, so it looks like, definite 2, possible 3.
You don't have to go today, I'm assuming, otherwise.
Yeah, get a possible 3 mark, so you're not committed.
Okay.
Okay?
For, number 4, percussion mallet donation, did you get my,
Yes,
change
we
that?
did, we changed it.
Okay,
Thank
good.
you.
It was from the family, not from me.
Yes, and Mr. Lasher is overjoyed.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's, second agenda, what is it called?
25.
Oh, hold on. Projected preschool budget. How many preschool kids are coming in? Yeah, while Monica's looking, the town of Islip streetscapes and sidewalks bid. We're doing sidewalks, where, what cost? What is that?
It's a contract that allows the district to refurbish the ball fields. 2 years ago, we did the varsity baseball field. Last year, we did both softball fields. This year, we're going to be doing the JV baseball. That's it. No, it's their contract. They do contracts for earth moving. There's a company, Landtech, that one with for the town of Islip. They're very experienced with field renovations, so because they're on the town of Islip contract, we have the ability to piggyback off that and use that.
So how much is that gonna cost us?
I believe the quote was $56,000
Yeah, the sidewalks.
No, the field.
Oh, the field?
Yes.
Oh.
How much did it cost the boss?
It was 66 or 67.
Yeah, I mean, how bad are they? Can we look at the first?
Really bad. Really bad. I mean, the varsity baseball field 3 years ago was like.
They put in turf now, or what do they?
No.
They returfed it, they regraded, they got rid of gold, they pitched a roll to it. 3 years ago, when I got here, we went out to the baseball field. It was about 4 to 5.
I can't hear you. I got the thing.
There was about a 4 or 5 inch step between the base pass and foul territory. It was a tripping hazard ready to happen.
John, I believe you did show me that. You know, we did a go up to the
That's for varsity though, right?
Yeah, so we had similar problems with the softball fields last year. Our ground staff, while they're good at maintaining things, they're not the experts that a professional company that does this, for a career does. So we brought this company in. It's been 15 years since those fields were installed to do a little bit of sprucing up. I should say a lot of sprucing up to go out there and see the scope. The JV field, where they're at right now is the area between first base and second base constantly floods.
Yeah, I know about that.
So we're canceling games constantly.
So you're gonna grade it differently and stuff, right?
Absolutely. We're going to bring the grade all the way into the outfield. We're going to be moving, I think it's 240 yards of material. It's a substantial.
Will they show us something before and afterwards?
I mean,
do they just say what they're gonna do and do they just say what they're gonna do? They give us a bill, it's just one field for 56,000?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we've looked multiple times. We've looked at the building after heavy rains. We've looked at the building after light rains. We've looked at it after 2 weeks of no rain. We've looked at it and multiple times over the past 6 months.
I definitely agree something needs to be done in the field. I just question the prices. doing that? How many people bid on the job?
Well, we don't have to do a formal bid if we go off the town of Icing contract that has the scope of work that we're trying to accomplish. So no, we did not go out and solicit bids to go that route.
Would it be cost effective and maybe get the same job, maybe get it?
Honestly, I don't know what other contractors I would feel comfortable doing that work.
The town of Iceland, the town of Iceland has done that then, and they have a higher purchasing power than we do. So, you know, the theory with general municipal law is with piggyback, that we're benefiting from that higher purchasing power. That's why the law allows us to do that.
We're benefiting from spending whatever last year on Boston Field. I looked at the Boston Field, it does not look like there was that much money.
Oh, okay, so I'm sorry, you're making a difference, not about the piggyback itself, but whether it's worth the money at all.
So I'm just trying to see if it's cost effective for us to go spend the money. It's our money. If I'm running a business, I want to just throw it right. And I'm not saying they may be in the ballpark, I don't know.
No,
If they're in the ballpark.
Sure, and the way we make this determination is when we develop the quote, we go line by line as to the different things they're going to be doing, the amount of material that they're going to be moving, the amount of labor, the amount of days and staff they think they're going to need, the amount of sod, the amount of square feet of sod. I think the sod cost last time, just for the varsity baseball field, and at a competitive price, was almost $33,000. Half the cost was for sod.
I'm with you on everything, I just want, can we get a bid on it? And why can't we put turf on the infield?
So that's a whole different animal. If we're gonna do turf,
How much
you're talking
less money, how much?
$250,000 for turf.
Okay.
Right out of the gate.
But instead of spending every 10 years, 90,000?
Well, every 15 years, and we said 56, we're gonna say
Lost
90.
it was 15 years.
What's that? It was 15 years ago, it was done in 02.
I just say something, I'd like to see numbers on
It's
it. Possible.
We have the vote, you know, we absolutely have the vote. Copy this. It's, you know, it's beyond our expertise, and there are not a lot of companies out there that I would feel confident doing it. When they come in and the amount of work, back to the meeting, I'll pull up my phone. I have pictures of the softball field on my phone that shows the amount of work before and after. Tremendous difference.
I'm with you.
I get it.
I wasn't really impressed with the Boston field. I didn't know the numbers was that.
So part of the problem is we need to do better as a department maintaining things after they're done. If you saw that field 2 weeks before they started and 2 weeks after they finished.
Yeah, you might be right about that. But I saw it a couple of recently. Now that you tell, I have no idea what we spent.
No,
So I'm looking at going, whoa.
No doubt about it. It's a big number. It is a health and safety issue. I'm telling you that the tripping hazards that we eliminated and that we're going to be addressing are important.
What's the work?
I agree with you.
Well, and that's the question. If we're able to get this contract approved and a quote approved, we can have the work done over the summer, so that way they'll be ready to play this week.
So, Mark, do you feel comfortable doing that, or do you want
Well, I
to?
think we'll speak after.
Well, we have to vote now.
I'll be voting that right now.
Well,
I don't suggest that we pull it because we like to get this work done before the school starts.
so if the line item was a number in the budget, we're not authorizing, if you need some time to roll over, I mean, while I'd love to have your approval go forward with it, we're approving the use of the contract, we're not approving the POs.
Oh,
Like I said, I mean, if it's something that you feel more comfortable walking the field, you know, looking at some pictures, have a conversation, by all means, whatever it's gonna take in order for you to feel comfortable with it.
I'd even like to see, you said 250,000 for a turf field. I said, I don't know, maybe that lasts forever, that's a little bit more than 10 to 15.
You know, the turf field actually has a 10-year lifespan.
Okay?
Yeah, 10 to 12 years.
They have to replace the whole turf and everything.
That is the recommendation, so that's the life expectancy.
Why are you going on Boston for turf?
Why did we? I was not here for that.
that's a good answer.
We spent the money on the
I
Boston.
needed a good answer.
Why did we spend it on one sport and not the other? I'm just comparing.
Well, it's not one sport, it's an all-purpose field. They
Well,
use
yeah,
soccer,
they use
lacrosse, field hockey, football, they use it for the community, 10 months out of the year.
Yes.
All right, wait, I'm not done. You guys see me, I know, but I don't know. Folding partitions, this is probably you again, John. Folding partitions and curtain divider, where's that going and how much? Oh, maintenance, yeah.
We have partitions in our gymnasiums, we have them in our LGIs, in the schools.
Right.
We have the requirements.
So all of them?
Yeah, absolutely, and I believe it was $19,000.
Okay. 19K. That's it.
Okay, so we have a motion to table, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I didn't hear Lee. I like to hear everybody.
So before we move on to the ESSER overview, we have Lisa here. I just want to address the resignation of Robert Grable.
Okay.
Can you explain to the board what their options are?
Okay. So to the extent that you have a individual board member who has resigned, your options are to appoint an individual to take that seat for the balance of the year until the next election. When the next election occurs, whoever has the highest amount of votes, like you're an at-large district, would get that seat. How many years do you have left?
Just one.
They would finish that term plus have 3 years, so they would get the largest amount of time on one board. The second possibility is that the BOCES district superintendent appoints somebody to the board, which typically never happens, ever, that I know in my 20 years of practice. Also, the Commissioner of Education can appoint somebody to the position, or you can have a special election to fill the position for the balance of the year. We're already in August. I mean, it's up to the board.
Can we leave it vacant?
If you took no action, it would stay vacant, yes.
Okay, so how long does the board need to decide on this?
So you have, if you want to do a special election, you have 90 days from the date of the vacancy to do that.
Which costs less than $90,000, typically around $60,000 for a full election, much less for a special election. Because we can do it at one bill.
You can't do that. You set up this election district, we have to.
Oh, so we have to have the.
It would be like a normal election, and then you would have, and then remember, you have the ability to appoint the board. So there were an individual in the community that you felt comfortable with, you could appoint an individual.
And they would get that term plus 3.
Yep.
Oh, no, that term,
Just
they have to
the
run.
term, and
Correct.
then whoever runs for the board and gets the most votes would fill that seat, effective the day of the election.
I don't feel
Well,
comfortable.
we can stay the way we are.
I don't
Or
feel
you take no
comfortable.
action and keep it vacant
Yeah.
until.
I don't feel comfortable appointing someone. I feel like running an election gives the community the right to choose who comes on the board. I don't think it's my decision or any of our decision. It's just my opinion. I think it's their decision. So for me, I would either leave it vacant or do a special election.
I just have a question, I know I shouldn't be speaking, but what
I can't see you.
What happens if the 4 members there, what if 2 are decided and 2 are decided, and neither 2 are gonna budge, then what happens?
Then it,
So that's why the Commissioner of Education can appoint somebody to the board.
No, I'm talking about just on any topic, if they choose to.
then the motion
Yeah.
fails.
Everything would fail. Okay, so just generally, if the board is not, that's a non-functioning board, right? So if there's always a split and nothing, there's no action can be taken, you essentially have a board that's not functioning, and that's why the Commissioner of Education has the authority to appoint another board member or have the district superintendent of BOCES appoint in order to create a functioning board.
But that's only for non-functioning.
I mean, yeah, that's
And
why it
it's
really
not just one
happens.
vote, it could happen, it has to be
It
several.
would have to be consistent inability to move on.
On anything, right, okay, all right.
So I suggest that the board take some time to think about this, and then at our next meeting, we'll come up with that decision.
I agree.
But we have a little bit more time to actually sit down for 90 days.
If not, if you want to do a
You
special
want to do a
election.
special election?
Or if
and
we
then-
want to make a decision on what we want to do.
Well, you have the whole year. Except for that part of it, you pass that, you can still appoint somebody past the
there's no time for
If
that.
we have a problem, we have a 2-2 votes all the time, we can actually do something at that time, say we need some money.
So we don't have
If
to,
we
we
need
don't
it.
have to wait for the commissioner
No.
or any of that, we can do it ourselves then at that point.
We could decide that you want to appoint somebody and find out where it's split.
So I suggest you guys think it over, and then our next, we'll add it to the next agenda.
Perfect.
Okay, the next item on is the ESSER. Is that you, Dean?
Yes. So recently, the superintendent, myself, and another district administrator attended a workshop to review the new New York State's Every Student Succeeds Act, primarily focusing on the accountability system. We'll talk a little bit about that. What Every Student Succeeds Act is, it's a federal law that requires schools and local educational agencies to related to accountability, school improvement, educator development, and student supports. ESSER was signed into law in 2015, which takes over the No Child Left Behind Act by the federal government. And then what happened is New York State then submits its own plan to the state, to the federal government, which has recently been approved, and the Board of Regents put an emergency action in place to adopt the ESSER regulations. What's new with regards to accountability? Accountability used to be solely based upon participation rates in the state assessments, and that's the 4 through 8 ELA and MAP assessment. What the state is attempting to do with its new accountability system is add some other factors that provide a school an opportunity who has a low participation rate, ways to show that they are still either attaining the standards and having and promoting successful students. So with regards to accountability, there's new ways that schools can use with regards to broader goals of student success, such as graduation rates, and we'll show you a bunch of different things that are going forward. They look at school improvement. One of the changes is that a lot has come back to local control over school improvement, which before this, with the accountability process, the state would get involved. You would be labeled as a school in need, and then the state would require a plan for you. As of right now, the plan is that the local district has that control of developing that plan for improvement. In addition to that, they want more educator development with a focus on equity and effectiveness, and a new focus on English language learners, which has been an increase in all districts around Long Island. And then more reporting, some more data that the state wants reported based upon at-risk groups, and there's a variety of different ones, whether they be homeless or students of military families. These are the multiple measures, and I'll do a quick overview of all of them, and throughout the year we'll go into a little bit more greater detail at each of the board meetings to discuss them. Again, going back to the old accountability measure, it was about 4 through 8 ELA MAP assessment. Now we're looking at student academic achievement, student growth, academic progress, graduation rates. This is a huge one because primarily before we only looked at the 4-year graduation rate. They've extended that to the 6-year graduation rate. We do have students who do stay 5 and 6 years. We work very hard to get them to a level, and so do they, and we want to make sure that their work and our work with them is acknowledged, and having it be able to go out for 6 years gives that benefit to those students. English language proficiency, chronic absenteeism, which is a new one, and that is designated for students who miss more than 10% of an academic year at any level. And then finally, another area that is a benefit to us as a district is the college career and civic readiness. AP scores, our AP capstone program, our CTE programs, our BOCES programs, as well as our in-house academies. These are all things that we will now be able to count towards achievement for our students. Instead of just looking at those straight test exams, we can look at a more global range of students to see how our students are performing compared to other districts around New York State. I'm going to let the superintendent end on this slide. The state is trying to make things better as far as the accountability process and ways we can make sure that our students are achieving success. The challenge is they put a blanket over everyone. So districts like ours who perform very well, we have a broad range of programs for all of our students, and we're constantly striving to get better. We're constantly working with our staff. We're constantly reviewing our programs, providing professional development, and we're continually moving forward, providing students that we have at all levels incredible opportunities for success, both at college, at the workforce, or in the military. But I'll let the superintendent wrap up with this last slide.
So you'll see on the last slide that these were emergency regulations. So they're still in the comment period. So we're going to urge you to comment on these regulations because we believe that they're still unfair. And the reason that we believe that they're still unfair is because the 4th grade through 8th grade assessments will be measured in 2 different ways. The first way will be what the students achieved on the exams divided by the number of students who should or could have sat those exams. So if you have 400 students, and I'm just going to use some round numbers, if you have 400 students on a grade level and only 100 students sit for the exam, they will take the score multiplied by 100 for that top number, but they will divide that by the 400 students who should have sat for that exam. That does not actually demonstrate to us what our students are actually doing and producing, nor does it show us what our teachers are doing. So we truly believe, even though that's only one part of the measurement, that these regulations, once again, will penalize districts where students have decided that their parents do not want them to take their tests. And it will not actually show and demonstrate what our teachers and our students are capable of. So if you could help us all out and go to that website and give some feedback on the fact that there's 2 different measures. They're trying to ameliorate that by the second measure, which is the actual score of kids divided by the actual amount of kids who took it to get a fit, which is a whole new language, which we'll talk to you folks about later in the year. But they're going to rank school districts by score number 1, which is kids over the amount of kids who should have taken it, according to them, that 95% that should have taken it or need to take it for the federal government, and the score divided by the amount of kids who actually took it. And they will rank school districts across the state by both those measures and then figure out exactly where you sit based on those 2 measures. So I truly don't believe that this is a fair indication of how our students move through the system, nor is it a fair indication of how hard our teachers are working. So we just need your help to give feedback to the state education department that we don't believe that that is an accurate measure. So if you could do that and help us out, we would appreciate that.
There'll be a link on the school website?
Yeah, I'll post the presentation on the website.
Okay.
And we'll put it on Facebook as well.
Awesome.
Mrs. Gart, you can just put it all on Facebook, right?
Okay, so now we're moving on to public participation. Same rules apply that I mentioned earlier. Anybody like to come to the podium and speak?
How are you guys?
Very well, thank you.
I'm here speaking on behalf of my school, the largest elementary school. I know that other people spoke before me, but I know I spoke the last meeting about the kindergarten issue. And now the 3rd grade actually applies to my son. So it becomes personal. Unfortunately, the situation is, there was only 17 kids in his class last year, 17. And the child came home 3 times with 3 different notes. He's a small boy. My son is very small. And unfortunately, he was pushed into a bush by a bunch of kids. Then he got hurt, got punched in the stomach. 17 kids, 1 teacher, and she's a great teacher, and 17 kids. So now if we're going to make we're going to move up that number to 22 or 25. This is a rough grade. I'm not just saying that. I've heard it across the board from teachers, from admin. This is a rough grade. We have a lot of kids with a lot of energy. I get it. There's a lot of stored energy. I understand the idea of putting an aide in the room, but an aide didn't help on the playground. We put extra aides on the playground after a few situations there. So all I am asking is that you guys really really look into how they do the class sizing next year. I know other people are saying it, but I'm telling you from experience, it will not be good if there are a lot of kids in those classes. That grade especially. Kindergarten and third grade, we had a magnificent teacher that is now leaving and going to another school. In our district, but we moved out. She was exceptional. To take her out of our school, one of the largest, we have the largest, you guys all know, the largest home of the homeless, the largest amount of kids that come from broken families, divorces, all sorts of issues. Not to say there aren't good people, we have a lot of good people as well. But because of all the issues, and the school being as large as most middle schools, this school should get some kind of extra help, not just with the aides, but there is no reason why financially we need to take a teacher out of our school. No reason. I understand another teacher, instead of being taken out of the school, was chosen for the lab. One of the teachers, one of our fifth grade teachers was, congratulations, to an excellent teacher, but that saved another teacher's position in our school, I know. So technically we're really losing two teachers, not one, two. I get it, they're trying to do a little bit more with a little less, but making the grade, making each class 20 is one thing. Making the classes 25, 26, 28, it's unacceptable when other schools who have far less kids overall have lower classes. I mean, I've looked into it with the other schools, and I know that the one school had 24 and they had an 8. I also know that a lot of those kids in that class are also not the same kind of children that we have over by us. I mean, some of them do not have the same high energy. It's not to say that it's just, that they don't have the same kids, it's just, maybe we should look at the audience, look at the kids that we're dealing with, and look at some of the situation and the issues. A lot of these kids are not from the same background. So we can't just say, okay, because that school that worked 24 with an 8, it's going to work it over here. It's not going to work in a school where they're used to having 17 kids, and even when they have 17 kids, they have so many behavioral issues that are going undiagnosed, they're not handling it. And instead, the children and my son is no angel. So, but, I mean, coming home religiously with an issue last year, I don't want to have that same problem going forward. And I'm hoping that you guys can, look into the numbers and keep it as low as possible. If for no other reason then, I heard it with the kindergarten, I was very adamant about class size means a lot, especially for their educational growth, their personal growth. You need the extra help. I mean, a lot of kids are being overlooked, but this school has the most with the homeless, the most that are dealing with Suffolk PD, the most we were dealing with the homes, the drugs, and a lot of other stuff. Not to say there are not good homes. We all know the situation I'm talking about and what's going on. So I think it would behoove you guys to really look into the class size. I know everybody's asking for it, but there's a whole bunch of people angry on Facebook writing it, and I mean, I know everyone can't make it down here tonight, but you're gonna probably get more and more people. Not to say that you guys aren't doing a great job, and congratulations, but also to say, maybe if we can just keep it, maybe it can't be 17, but why can't it be 20? Why are we gonna go up to 24 and say, let's put 8 in it? An 8 that obviously during lunchtime they control 17 children, but you're gonna put 8 in there and that person's gonna be able to control them? This age is difficult. These kids are, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of boys, my son's one of them, a lot of high energy. Putting 17 kids in a class was difficult. One teacher actually said to me, it's been a rough year, it's been a rough year. I was like, yes, it's been a rough year. The kids are getting older and the rooms are hot. I've said something about really security with bringing in air conditioners. Now we got to deal with, now the class we're going to have 28 kids. That's insanity. It's insanity. I understand if we didn't have the money, if there was a financial issue. But we all know that there's extra money here, and keeping one teacher in the school lowers each grade number of children drastically. I mean, you're talking about a big difference.
We're spending a lot of that extra money for doors, just so you know.
I want air conditioners, the doors, man.
I agree. Can you give them numbers just one more time? They can do both buildings.
I did.
Can you give them numbers?
Third grade, kindergarten, class.
Well, third grade, I already heard kindergarten, I thought was 22, 23, 20, I got a couple.
22, right?
Yeah, so what is,
Third grade would be 2 sections of 23, 2 sections of 22.
okay, and what are they going to do with the kids that are in the inclusion class? Are they considered the same? How is that? Because I was under the assumption that it had to be an even number, and then I was educated on how it's not. It actually doesn't have to be.
Does not.
Yeah. How does that come into play?
It doesn't have to be even number, which is the recommendations follow. So it should not be more than 50%, and not be only 12 students.
That's a lot of IEPs and a lot of kids.
We're careful when we look at the size, class size. We're careful when we look at the amount of ICT students that are placed. And also have to use split sections.
Well, why is it that this year we had 17 kids in classes, and next year we're going to take away a section and we're going to bring the number up to 22, 23? And I'm telling you, if you spoke to the teachers from last year, they're going to tell you that they had some issues in their classrooms. It wasn't just one. I know because I was in the class, I was a class mom, I was there often. There were a lot of issues. There were issues with third graders fist fighting. Second graders that moved up to third grade, fist fighting. Two teachers couldn't have their door open in between, and I was actually told that they cannot be in the class together. They actually cannot be in class together, and they're in two different classes to begin. I'm just saying to you, obviously, at 17, the teachers had an issue, and I feel sorry for them because it's a lot of kids that have to watch, to have to maintain their behaviors, and kids get lost in the shuffle. My son did great in first grade, and in second grade, he did not flourish by no means. It was a rough grade. It was rough. I don't want to see the same thing happen next year. So if we're going to move up to 22 and 23, what is the reason? If last year there was 17, what is the reasoning of changing?
So Jackie, what we said earlier was this is a brand new board who are going to get all the numbers of district-wide, of what the enrollment looks like in each one of the buildings, in each one of the sections, in each one of the classes, and they will be able to take all the input that you've given tonight and look at that with all the numbers, because they don't have it right now.
Right, and I understand.
So I'm glad that you're here
But unfortunately, we
start the
can't.
conversation.
Right, but unfortunately, we can't be compared, like I said, to a school district when we all know that we have children being bused in from out of our town. Plenty of kids being bused in. So if that's going on, I think that should be taken into consideration. We have a school that is overloaded with children, 600 strong. I think that is a lot. When we have other elementary schools that don't even have 200.
That's true, but the ratio of students to teachers are pretty similar across the district. We're going to give that information to the board so that they can look at everything that you said. They've heard everybody tonight, and they'll be able to see all those numbers and make a decision.
Are they going to be able to let us know before?
Yeah, we would talk about it at the next board meeting.
All right, good.
Wait, Jackie just said something about children being bused in. Are those displaced children that were in this district, or is it because we have a higher special education?
Well, almost every building in the district has kids who were homeless and their school
Was here.
Right, so we
So is
have.
that the case that's being bused into?
That's what I'm
allowed to
assuming.
be chosen? I'm of the assumption, only going from work, with what I'm told at the school districts I work with. And I was told that a child that is homeless is allowed to pick a school district because they are not technically in a home.
So the McKinney-Vento Act allows the student to either stay in their home district where they had a permanent residence or become part of the district that they live in their homeless state. A lot of the kids choose to stay in our home district, but they're not all from Cherokee, believe me. They're from they're district-wide, and we send them back to their home school. We don't send them to one building and say, you're the
No,
homeless
I
building.
understand. Well, that's like saying that we didn't have inclusion, and we didn't have all the inclusion classes, and now we have all the inclusion classes.
You do, that's true, because.
So I mean, at some point, I think everybody has to start to realize that Cherokee is, our school is, I know you guys know what school I'm from, but that it's not exactly, it just can't house any more kids. We can't do more with less. We just can't keep on doing more
They
with
don't look at
less.
the numbers. This is the first time that they're gonna see them.
Just so you know too, that the inclusion classes, I know that my daughter that just graduated was in an inclusion class. She was helping out the special education children, and she did phenomenal. Like I was worried about inclusion classes at first. She did phenomenal in those classes.
I'll have to tell you this. My son was in the inclusion class in first grade. Fabulous teachers. I love them dearly. But on the last day of school, he decided to bite his arm because he was told that the other kids in the class that were in the class did that often. So
So I was told by parents and teachers that your son tends to be a little bit of a follower, and you may not want him in an inclusion class in the future. Nothing against inclusion, but he said, he goes, we need leaders in inclusion, and your son tends to like, I asked him why he bit himself, and he told me, because the other kids do. So yeah, can't do that.
Yeah, we got to
Yeah,
this with him.
Can't do that. That's what they said.
So obviously we have extra credit for the charity. We have next year for the charity. 1 and 2 is.
This year, I know
We do have extra classrooms. We do have.
So we can see that on. Yes.
Okay, I have a compliment actually. So this year marks the end of the first school year for Mrs. Kimball as Osley as our new principal. I just want to say thank you so much to Dr. Adams and her colleagues for allowing her to be our principal. The change in our school has been phenomenal and all for the good. She's changed so many things. The teachers are very happy with her. She's done, at least from what I can see as a parent, she's really, really made a positive impact on all of us. For example, graduation being absolutely amazing. I only wish she was there for all my other kids that were graduating prior, because it really was just a very special event. And I just wanted to give her kudos because she really stepped in and stepped up, and she just, I just think the sky's the limit going forward with her. So I'm very happy with her, and I think that she was a fantastic choice for us. The other question I have is for Dean. The other question I have is for Dean. Yeah, you know. So a couple of months ago, we had 2 lovely ladies come in from your office to discuss curriculum mapping and deficiencies in the curriculum in Bond State, where we were lagging behind, grades that simply were not meeting standards because the children were not prepared going forward. It was a continual issue. And we let them know all of our concerns, and we are still concerned that we're not really mapping the way that we should, and as quickly as we should. It's taking way too long to roll out. I want to know if there was any update regarding all of the comments and all of the feedback that you were getting from quite a large amount of parents, most of them educators and administrators in our building that evening as well. Do you have any update for us?
Yeah, we put together a reading leadership team to talk about some of the concerns that came up at Boston and some of the things that we're looking at overall as far as our implementation of the reading literacy stuff. We have a plan that's rolling out for next year. We are working individually with each of the buildings, principals, with professional developers and digital administrators to develop those individual plans. Ms. Kimball's plan is already set in place, so I don't have the exact updated regarding it, but we have some significant changes going on for next year. And I will definitely start in September. I'll come back to Boston, sit down with the PTA and parents, and we can roll out.
Yeah, we would definitely love that. I definitely think that would be very welcome. I know that we're rolling out of Teachers College now, and I don't know how the training was going, and we have a new training set in place for the summertime, the professional development days where they would be trained, and the new learning that they do.
It's units of study.
Yeah. So if they're doing that,
yes.
And now are we going to have like a step like by this point in the year you need to have completed X amount? So we're looking at this. We really suggested, and I do feel it makes sense to have a time frame of so from say September to November 1st. We'd like to have these units of study completed, just so we're because our problem is that we need continuity across the district, we need continuity across the school. So you can't have a child going to the next grade if they haven't done all of the materials. Maybe you have only done the first section, and this class has done the second. It's too much of a disparity. We already realize that definitely comes into play in the junior high. Once they get to 6th grade, you have now 4 schools going to be into this. So I want to know if going forward, did they really take into consideration, try and set into place a definite timeline of when they should be learning what and when it should be completed, and what's the checks and balances to ensure that they will indeed complete those units of study by that specific time.
Yes, absolutely. All those things have been covered, and we can discuss that when we sit down.
Okay, and one quick frivolous question, sort of frivolous. Can we get more instruments for the band and the orchestra at all the schools, so more children can actually participate if the parent can't afford to rent it, or if a child's instrument breaks and your instrument's out for repair, you can borrow one from the school. There seems to be, not as many as maybe there should. I guess it happens along the way. I mean, Orba's been so fantastic taking care of us. We really do take it for granted that they do so much for us. I think we tend to forget, not on purpose, but it would be nice if maybe we had more of a selection, you know. Kid goes, instrument goes out for repair. If you can't get a rental, or maybe a parent can't afford the rental because now your kid's instrument's out. The other kid can't play their sneaky grade, or they can't participate in something that, you know, might be coming up. So maybe it's something to look into to see if we could purchase more instruments for all of the children. You know, just so we would have them as school owners. I know when I went to school, you had the option of loaning from the school, or you could go on your own. But I understand with the size of our department, that would be a near impossibility. But I would love to see just a little bit more for that, because there is very, very limited supplies. And I know that we had talked about we replace some pianos and things like that, which is great along the way, but I just would like to see a little bit more of the essential piano. Well, let me sing a little song about it.
Yes, please. I'm waiting all night. That's why I came here. Thanks, Jenny.
That's different than the information I have about the number of instruments we have. The information I have is that the reason, I'm not saying no, but you and I should talk about it, where you're hearing this from, in this particular school. I hear Loma, that's the teacher that I was told. Just told me we're doing very well. A lot of instruments were purchased very recently.
I know that they were. Well, I know that they were, and I'm sure that they were very pleased with it. I do recall them being purchased. That's why I said I know we didn't have them, but I still think like maybe we need a couple extras on standby, just for those rare occasions, because you might have, let's say 25 kids had to borrow an instrument for the year because of financial reasons, or because whatever, they were kind enough to be able to offer it to them. All right, so Milan's instrument breaks in January, and it's out for repair for 2 months, which does happen. I know I myself had to get my son a loaner because his instrument's out for repair for 4 months. That happens, there's nothing you can do. It was my own instrument, it's his own instrument, and it's a specialized thing. But if I couldn't rent him an instrument, there was no option to borrow one. Like, he couldn't borrow one from the school. So maybe we just need, maybe we just need a few more, not so much my thing, I was able to get it, it wasn't a big deal, but I think of like maybe the kids who, maybe they can't, maybe they're playing like mom's flute from when she went to school, and now it needs to be, you know, need new pairs or whatever, and maybe they want to borrow one, but we don't even have that as an option.
Okay, thank
So,
you.
just a few, not an excessive amount, but just a little something. Oh, and another thing, you start videotaping the concerts and stuff so parents can buy it.
You know, I've always wondered why we don't.
Why don't we videotape anything? We could videotape the shows and theater shows, which we would love to buy, we love buying that. I wish more people would videotape the concerts, because now we have 54 people sitting with their phones up and their iPads up. It would be so nice. I would love to pay for that. That would be a wonderful fundraiser for some PTA or program or something. For $4. So,
Some people don't sign the photo release.
I know, but they videotape for the shows too. For the theater shows, they videotape all of them.
So maybe you sign it.
Is there anybody else that likes to speak? But if they'll sign a photo release for the concert, it could easily, but it could be sometimes it's easy.
Yes, it could be a licensing issue, but we'll look into it. But like as one mom said, there's some parents, children that protect it. Does anybody else want to speak?
Hi. I just wanted to piggyback with another couple of Cherokee parents about, the distractions of the other students. I agree as well. My daughter does have issues focusing and then will get distracted with more students in the class. Also dealing with the inclusion classes. I know you were mentioning how we do have similar class sizes as the other elementary buildings, but with all of these behavioral issues, because it's not just learning disabilities, it's a lot of behavioral issues that these children are dealing with that, again, my daughter, a personal thing, just to, again, talk about what Jackie was mentioning, that my daughter had some physical altercations that she was, threatened and also, poked with like pencils and, things like that, saying that they were going to cuff her pants and issues that I didn't think that would occur in the second grade classroom. So I feel that, those things were handled and, separated in class and all of those, trying to repair and have the consequences. But I just want to mention that dealing with aides in the classroom, sometimes things are missed, teachers in the classroom don't always catch everything either. So I just feel increasing these class sizes, like I said, third grade was a rough grade level, and it would just be a detriment to our children and the students. And I think safety should be the highest priority. You know, we're talking about all the education aspects of it and making sure that, you know, they can succeed, but, you know, safety should be number one. And I really want to stress that I hope that we don't increase these class sizes, and I just want to really know, we haven't heard the answer yet of why. Why now? Why are we losing the class? Why are we losing the teacher? I didn't hear an answer yet.
They're not, yeah.
We're gonna look at the numbers.
We didn't look at the numbers.
No, we did.
But we are.
The teachers moved out. We packed up.
That's because the current third graders, there was a larger number of current third graders than the third grade class coming in. And every year we look at, all the enrollment district-wide, and we look at each class level. So we don't really say, oh, there's 4 sections in 4th grade, we're always going to leave 4 sections in 4th grade. If I don't have enough students to fill 5 classes, it will be 4 sections next year. So it's not that we lost kids, because I can hear, we lost 17 kids, we lost a section.
Yeah, we did.
No, we're looking at 3rd grade, that was at 5, and now it's going down to 4. But the 3rd grade of this last year, the 17.
But we had 5, I believe.
The 2nd grade.
Yeah.
Second grade
Yeah,
has 5.
we had 5.
But
Yeah.
now it's going down to 4. The current enrollment in 3rd grade last year was bigger than the enrollment moving. And that's why when we look at every grade level as it moves up, we put it in front of the board as part of the budgeting process. And we tried to stay within the 22 to 25 cap. And 22 is at the low end of the 22 to 25 cap. There are breakage numbers in other buildings. Let's say I have 35 kids in 1st grade at some grade level. Let's say Pearl. I have 35 kids in 1st grade at Pearl. I cannot have 1 section. I have to have 2 sections, even though those breakage numbers are 18 and 17. We would not change that until it got to 22 to 24. So we look at every class as it moves up, every year as it moves up, and looks at how many sections that we need. That's how we've staffed forever in this district. So I don't know when the 22 and 25 happened. It's been that way since I've been here. This is my 5th year. So we just do the budgetary guidelines, we look at how many kids are enrolled, and we look at how many sections we would need for that. And that's how we do every single class.
Right, but as we were saying, like, I don't think we should be compared to the other elementary, because I know that we are, like you said, even in similar class sizes, but with the inclusion factor in there, we should have the smaller class sizes. That's all I'm thinking. And also, dealing with special area, the aides don't attend special area. They're supposed to, but they don't. I mean, again, as a teacher in another district that, you know, you're supposed to be doing the right thing and, you know, doing your job, they don't always do their job, and they don't always attend special area. That's not fair to the special area teachers to have a 25 class size with inclusion kids, with behavioral issues and learning disabilities, and expect them to do well and then not have any type of conflicts or other physical altercations or, you know, other type of behavioral issues in class. So I really hope that you decide to keep the 5th section for our 3rd graders. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I say something?
Please come back.
Thank you. Hi, how are you? I have well, she kind of said good questions and answers for everything, but the thing is, they're saying about TAs, putting TAs in the classes. I was a TA at one of the schools in Hackwell. We are, well, we can say they throw you on the water, they make you go, they don't train you properly on what's going to happen, how you're supposed to deal with the kids, what's going on with the kids, and you have kids that are very aggressive, you have kids that really don't listen at all. So, like, okay, my son he's very impulsive. He goes to Cherokee. I came from Brooklyn. In Brooklyn, this class size was 28, maybe 27. The teachers do not handle at all, no matter how big of the class is. I'm really happy that when we came here, there's only 17, maybe 18 kids. I'm overjoyed. It's amazing because I know that the teacher can have, you know, the extra time for one or another kid, which is amazing. But like I said, the TAs are not qualified to even help the teachers. So the teacher, all she's doing is doing her work. That's all I'm asking.
Thank you.
Are you gonna do a song?
Any I'm a Cherokee parent, not going to watch it. A massive sign. What about Essa? I think that you have.
Can't hear you, Chris.
Lift it up, man. Get tall.
It's a great presentation. I'm a big fan of accountability. Dr. Howard asked us to write to the officer of accountability. And I know now there's a lot of educators in the district that I didn't know about before, but I turned and I said, well, why do I care about this? Is it bragging rights? Yeah, bragging does not matter, but there's actually a financial impact and a positive education impact. And I think before this goes public, that needs to be moved forward. That we're not just doing this to say, hey, we're number 5, we're number 8, whatever the case might be. There is an actual impact that will happen if they continue with their path of analyzing us based on having a score divided by the number of eligible people in your class. It sounds unfair to begin with, but I'm not moved to take action based on that alone. Lots of things are unfair. When I start to realize there is a definitive impact on local government in the district, from a financial standpoint, now you have my attention. So there's one little recommendation that before you put that on there, there should be some, and it's not a case of saying we can't lobby for that. We certainly did that right here. So in that respect, you or in front of that to say, here's how we're going to, here's how we'll impact you. That will get people to actually take action.
Thank you, Chris. Going once, going twice?
Sold to the highest bidder.
Okay.
Nobody wants to.
All right, so we're gonna be moving into executive session. Need a motion and a second to move into executive section? Section. Yes, I know it's gonna fall, I need my motion and my second. In accordance with open meeting law, section 105, 1, 2, or particular person, executive, open meeting law,